Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I see Dee Dee, I see Colleen, Elise, Courtney, Sierra, Andrea's coming in.
Woo, woo, woo.
And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going to introduce you, Jess, and then I'll just let you go for it. I just want to make sure we're live, though. Yeah, live on Facebook. Okay. Jess coming in. All right, let me put this full screen, and then I'll ask everyone to mute. I'll just make sure. Jessica, you don't have to mute, but just for best sound quality. And then I've got all of my crystals set up in front of me, and I'm like, do I need this much energy? Like, it's just like, oh, welcome everyone. This is day 2 of our virtual soul retreat. Wow, what an awesome way to start the day yesterday with the ceremony. I've got our candles burning behind me, which I'm going to continue to burn for the next 10 days. And we are at day 2 with the lovely Jessica McKeown, like ice cream cone. And Jessica and I met just a couple of months ago, just to give you a little bit of background. And she was really a huge catalyst among all of the other 2020 events. But for me, meeting with Jessica and having a session with her and getting in direct contact with my guides really set me off on this like fast pace, just unfolding. And so I feel like if you're here for a reason. I want to preface that with like, you're here for a reason. Every time I am in contact with my guides, with Jessica's energy is so strong, and so the veil's so thin with her. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Yeah.
That if you're here, whether you're on the replay or the live, for me, being in this close of contact, getting this experience is like a coming home for me. It is a remembrance, just this ability to have such close communication with our guides. So this is a ceremony in and of itself. I'm so honored and excited to introduce my new friend and co-worker, Jessica McKeown. So we're gonna do a live reading. Why don't you introduce what you're gonna do, and then I'll just help like moderate if people want to ask questions towards the end.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Hollis. And thank you for gathering us all together. I'm excited, and the energy is potent today. So what I do usually in these kind of things is I ask Spirit what's needed. I used to be really egocentric and be like, this is what I want to do. And Spirit quickly said, no, like when you work with Spirit, you're kind of in this co-creation, in this dance. And so it's like, really, they know, the higher selves of us know what we need more than our egocentric selves here. So what they had me pull was our past, present, and future as a collective. And really, what has been going on in the past or this year that has brought us to this point today? Where are we now? And then where are we going in 2021? Working through this kind of stuff with Hollis, with the other practitioners that are coming on. So just kind of a really nice setup. And I'm just really excited. For those who haven't seen me channel, I might close my eyes or look away, but I'm never ignoring you. And if you have questions or thoughts, Hollis can always ask them, and we'll do an open forum at the end to ask questions specifically. Everyone is here for your highest good. I've called in my guides, your allies, which are like the wee folk, the plants, if anybody has like plant medicine or flower medicine that they work with. Your spirit babies, because that's one of the realms that I work with a lot. So if anybody's like wanting to have kids or babies or has kids or babies, they're here. And then our ancestors, and those are our ancestors that are healed, whole, and awakened. So everyone is here for our highest good today. So we should get some lovely messages. I've pulled some cards from the animal medicine deck. So that's how Spirit wants me to sort of do the conversation today, as they're saying. Let's see if they want you guys to know anything else. They would like us all to breathe together and get connected. So just make sure we're all grounded and centered this morning before we receive. So if you're watching the replay, I'd love for you to just make sure you're grounded and centered to receive this. So we'll have your feet or your sits bones come down to Mother Earth, feeling that connection, feeling that root, feeling her hold you. When you're ready, take a nice full breath into the low belly. As you exhale, side out. Let those roots anchor you into Mother Earth for this session. As you breathe in again, fill up your heart space, opening up the portal of love. As you exhale, softening the shoulders, releasing your burdens. As you breathe in again, breathing through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine, connecting towards the divine. As you exhale, softening the jaw. And we'll take 3 more breaths together. Beautiful. So we have a lot of crystal children here is what they're saying to me, which probably means that you have crystals in front of you already, or you are just fascinated by these concentrated pieces of earth. So kind of what they're just saying there is, yes, please continue to use these tools in many ways. I've got my Lumerian crystal here that helped us out last time. And just what they want to say around crystals, thank you, is it's a really nice entry point. It's a really nice anchoring for the work that we're doing, right? So for these 11 days into the new year, for the next year, having something that's small and easy to work with that you can sort of ignite for your challenges, that you can ignite for your help, that you could ignite in that way. Like they want you to start to use your crystals more in a way to work with and to look pretty. Does that make sense? So we have pretty crystals. We bought a bunch of them. We're excited. And kind of what they said is like, that's that first stage of them just calling themselves home to you. But now it's like they're saying for those crystal children to like go to the next level, to start to really understand, you know, what amethyst means to you, and to start to really understand what these stones and crystals can do besides look beautiful. They have really beautiful, strong powers. You can place things underneath them and activate things on your altar. So they really want you to play with crystals a bit more and get more understanding. So that's their, usually the earth elements will come in really fast, the plants, the animals, the crystal spirits, they usually will deliver their messages first. All right, so on to our collective reading. So our past is the antelope, which is the most sacred animal, a very shamanic animal. And what Spirit is saying is that everyone here has been doing their work. Good job. We've had this inspired action. We've felt this call to do more. We felt this call to do more for within ourselves. We know that maybe we're on a career path, that maybe there's something better or deeper or more aligned with what they're doing. So they're saying that everybody here that's here today and that's listening and that is coming into this energy wants to do the work. So good job, because there's a lot of times when you don't want to do the work, and I've been there, who's been there, when you're like, I don't want to do shadow work today, right? But we're ready now. For whatever reason, we have the strength, we have the ability, Spirit saying we have the community and the support to unfold a big part of ourselves. So they're very excited that we have this inspired action and that we're here and we're aligned and we're ready to go. And they want you to know that everything that you've been doing up until this point today has been getting you ready for this. So one of the big things they're saying that we don't do a lot down here is we don't like review our progress, right? So we are just on to the next thing and on to the next thing and launching the next thing and going and going and going. What they want us to do right now is to reflect definitely on this year. What have we learned? My goodness, how much things have changed for us. How did we adapt though? How did we jump over these obstacles? How do we not let this global pandemic stop us? Or what did this pandemic really show us about ourselves, our friends, our family? So they really want a big time of reflection. This is a nice week to do it. Just finding that quiet time and just going back, almost like a highlight. You know, they're showing me like, you know how Spotify has your top songs? What's your top spiritual stuff, right? We need somebody to make an app for that, they're saying. But like reflect on what you've been through, because if we don't remember and review our lessons, we are bound to repeat them, right? That's a good one, Spirit. So reflect. And that's kind of where we are now. So we're energized, right? And I love what Spirit's bringing us next. We're energized. We're ready to go. Woo, woo. What do us actions people don't like? Rest, retreat, prairie dog. But what they're saying here is, girl, it's been a long year. You know, it's been a long year. We deserve rest. We deserve relaxation, and we deserve retreat. And the big thing here, that same piece of looking over your year, is this is this integration period, right? It's the even though we feel the energy to go and to make and to do, we need to rest. We need to come from a place of integration, of inspired action. Sometimes if we push too hard, if we're trying to do things, you know, Prairie Dog reminds us that like things run both ways, that you might need to like just let the situation be and stop pushing and then see what happens. I mean, I find that so often if I like don't stop pushing on a situation, I come back in 3 days and it's like resolved. And I was like, oh, I thought I had to do all this stuff and da da da. And now it's just like, it takes care of itself. So they're saying like, if you notice an area where you're pushing a lot or you feel like angry or like, I keep trying to do this and it can't seem to be getting done. Like when you use like those kind of words or have that kind of energy, Spirit says that's just a real key to like stop, you know, put it down, take a rest, take a break. And kind of what they're saying here, especially for us, like there's a lot of divine feminine energy here, is we've had to also do divine masculine and be in this like energetic space of going and pushing. And they want us to come back into receiving. And they want us to, you know, come into that dominance of our energy and like really rest, really relax, really receive, really try not to do, and just try to be more, right? So they want you to, thank you, also develop a relaxation plan moving forward. So this isn't just a one-time thing they're saying, especially if you guys are, you know, spiritual action warriors, you need to definitely have times of break built in for 2021. So how are we resting? How are we relaxing? And really what Spirit is saying is like, it can look like anything. It can look like legs up the wall. It can look like, you know, sitting and meditating. It can look like reading a book or taking a bath. They want you to find ways that feel really good to rest and relax. And they want it to be an honoring. We don't want you to arrive tired, you know, and like, worn out, right? So like make sure that as you're going on in this next year that you're pacing yourself in a way that allows you to like take those breaks, take those rests, whether that's, you know, weekly, daily, monthly, however it works for your flow and your cycle. So they really want you to be aware of that, because they say you guys have a lot of work to do, right? Like the energy and the places where you are healing this world and healing these communities is very important. And they want you to know that all of you have access to your spirit teams and to please, you know, invite them in. So if there's people who do like energy work or do other kinds of work, you can always have like a guide come in and like just stay at your client's feet. As somebody, they're showing me that for some energy workers here, but like you can call them in or you can call them in to like protect the door space. And, you know, they don't always have to help you exactly in your work, but they can definitely hold space or protect space for you. So they're kind of saying like they want more of that calling in, that it's necessary for us to keep moving and going at the pace that we need to go. So, what they're showing me there is like, hey, if you don't know who your guides are or want to talk to them, like, great, like come in a space of humbleness and find the meditations, talk to the right people. I will help you. They're showing me to like connect with them, because it's a really beautiful relationship. And it might just be like colors or a feeling or a warmth or a sensation at first, but eventually you'll be able to get more and more and more direct downloads the more that you open up and connect with them, right? So it's like a relationship, right? That's what they want you to know. There's quite a few people on here who are ready to channel, they're showing me. So if that, when I say that, if that like tingles in your heart, just kind of note that, and we'll share some resources around channeling for you guys. Okay. Woo. Lots, right? Lots, right? Okay, but where we're going, everyone, which I love, our future for 2021 is Spider. Woo! Which is create, right? So thank you. What they're just saying is, what do you guys want to create? What's missing in this world? What do we need? And what I hear collectively is, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know if anybody will like that, and that kind of stuff, right? There's this feeling of like wanting to be liked, wanting to be loved, wanting everybody to love your thing. But it's like, y'all have to love it first, is what Spirit is saying. So like, what is it that, don't create things that like you think people need, or somebody's told you, or you've done a course or a workshop and, you know, you're following like a pattern. Create stuff that comes from that deep well within, you know, create stuff for the people following you that don't have what you had, right? So they're just showing me like, what do you want to create? They also want you to realize too that there might be things on the outside of your web that you're not aware of. So again, that pausing and reflection time will let you think of like, what else is moving here? What else am I creating? This is what they're really talking about in terms of like partnerships. Who are people that have reached out to me? Who are people that I want to work with? So as we move into this Aquarian age, right? it's this heightening of technology and community and connection. So think about those as like, how can I build online communities? How can I use like WhatsApp to connect with people? Like they're just showing me all kinds of like fun ways to stay in touch with the ones that you love and just share your messages. And the other thing they want to say to those people who are still doubting this energy is it's okay to fail. Goodness, like we don't learn unless we fail. Fail often, fail fast, fail hard, and keep going, right? Bring that like antelope energy back in of just like, okay, because like you don't come, you know, downloaded perfectly with everything that you need to do. You're here to figure out your message. You're here to figure out your pathway. You're here, like that's part of the fun is what Spirit says. So like have fun with discovering it and have fun with being okay with, I tried that, it didn't work. Because the only way that you'll really get that information is if you do it, right? So what they're kind of saying is, we've sat in a place of meditation and contemplation in our prairie dog, and then we're just ready to go out and create. And thank you, Spirit. Creation is different than production. Yes. So creation is without a purpose, they're saying. So that like, let it pour out of you, let it be wild and fun and free. And then afterwards, you can put it into a product or a class or a course or a group or whatever. But it's like, get that energy out first and find out who's resonating with that. And then you from there can create that community, whatever it is that you feel is needed. What they want for us this year is it to be easy. They don't want us to struggle. It's still going to be a pretty like intense year, 2021. We're still dealing with the pandemic and the virus, Spirit is saying. So please just know that going in, that if you like to gather or you normally gather in person, think of ways that you can either hybrid that or bring that online. And please like understand that everybody has been in a state of, what are they saying, like isolation or, you know, not a lot of interaction for quite a while now. So that's also affected our psyche. It's also affected who we are, how we relate. So a lot of people will need help like coming out of the pandemic, coming out of this way. Thank you. Like, how do we re-relate? How do we, you know, reintegrate? How do we deal with the anxiety and fear that will come up around that, right? And as well as like we have the vaccine running through us, right? And that's going to bring up a lot of stuff, right? So they're just saying like, just be very aware of where people are, because we are all in that space, right? So it's a unique thing they say for like reaching an audience, as we all have this sort of layer over us, but really create for where we are right now. Thank you. You can create other programs later, but really what Spirit is asking is for all of us light workers to hold this collective space right now. It might just be a temporary thing. You might not ever do these programs or offerings again. It might be an offering you already have that you can reimagine or reword for this time. So that's what they're showing me. There's a lot of you guys have a lot of great things, and they're just saying direct your language, because these things are important no matter what. These things are things that people need all the time, but it's calling their attention as to like, how do they need to integrate and work with this stuff now, and be aware of what your audience, what your groups are going through, is what they're showing me there. They're very proud of everyone who's working with people. They commend you a lot, and they say that you've been holding a lot of collective energy, and to please make sure that you're also taking time for yourself to, when you're in that teacher role or that spotlight role, to make sure that you're cleansing yourself of their energies, right? So making, if you have like this is my selenite, but if you have some selenite or even a quartz crystal, and just making sure that at the end of the day, you're really releasing those energies. And like, just for the practitioners, especially, they're showing me, keep yourselves like healthy and well energetically like space, is what they're saying. Like, make sure that that is feeling good for you. What else do they want to say around that? So really what they're saying is, you're all here, we're gathered to do this light work, but first we need to rest. And then from that place of rest and that place of calm and that place of ease, we can start to create. And after we create, we can turn it into things. But right now what Spirit is saying is like, let this next month, really, just until like the new moon in January, just be a time of creation. So yeah, get out some vision boarding, get out some colors, get out some paint, get out some, you know, nature stuff, right? And like make altars, but they're just saying like, get back into that creative space, become godlike again, right? Remember that part of you that is so connected to Spirit. Like, we have these hands, we have this ability to create and to make, to write, to sing. Gosh, there are gonna be so many things, but like, just find some things. And again, what they're saying is you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be a perfectionist at it. They want you to be joyful, be light, be playful. In creation, we are more willing to make mistakes, or we're more willing to try things. And so that gets our energy ready for our business and our work and our other big things that we're doing in this life. And for whatever reason, it's a really business focused energy. So I think there's probably a lot of awesome practitioners on this call that are doing this work. That's why Spirit's kind of bringing that forward. But even if you're not owning a business or not helping other people, just you doing this work and just you having your energy shining bright will affect people around you. So in essence, you know, they're saying we're all light workers. Oh, beautiful. They're pretty much saying that's the end of their transmission, and they're really open for questions now. Woo! Ah! I gotta drink my water. How was that, loves?
Can I ask Jessica, a blue jay just flew into my view.
I love it. Beautiful. Animal medicine.
I was taking notes.
I love it. Oh, I love that you take with different colored markers.
Well, yeah, as things transitioned, like a different color would come. So I take, and this is my secondary notebook.
Ooh, I love it. That's so much fun to look at and like let the words jump out at you and be inspired. So who has questions about anything?
I'll go because I'm dying. I was looking last night. I'm like, I should schedule a session with Jessica. Yesterday you had one at 4 o'clock.
Good, yeah.
But so I really appreciate what you just brought in, because that really resonates with even what I was just listening to before we got on about taking time for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And about collaboration. That's another big theme that's been coming up. So I just guess my question, and I think I do know the answer, but I just wanted to ask my guides for extra support during this time of creation, because it's scary.
What's scary about it?
Probably failing.
All the feelings?
The feeling, like if I try this, it doesn't work, because it's really putting me out there, because it's really different than anything I've ever done before. But more than ever, I feel like, you know, just my guides have told me this is what you need to do, and they've like really brought, like, the messages come through clearly more than once.
Yeah. They're giving us two things for you. They're saying this is an exercise that I do a lot. You're going to take your hands out. You're going to put them out like this. Everyone can do this. It feels really good. Get into like a big power stance, heart up, and go, I failed.
I failed.
I failed.
I failed.
I
failed.
And then we move on, right? So kind of what they're saying is the reason why failure is coming to your pathway is because you want to overcome this, because you don't want to be afraid of it, because we've put so much energy on it. And a lot of that they're saying is like your past life. They said like you tried to help, and it's actually around a water well, and you tried to tell people that the water wasn't good in the well, is what they're showing me, and they didn't believe you, and they sort of outcasted you, and so you failed, they say, at like trying to deliver that message of importance. So that's why you're actually really also concerned about people's health and wellness, because you know that like water is life and it's very important. So they want you to like just to put hands on your heart and tell your past self that you're in the right pathway, that you're doing this, and that this time failure won't look like excommunication from a community. It will look like learning lessons, right? So they really want you to just sink into like, I'm here to learn lessons, and it's okay to fail. We understand that like failure comes with like money investments and time investments and all that stuff, right? So we understand why you guys want to have this like perfect, like, you know, A to B steps of like what to do. But in the missteps, in the failures, there's so many lessons there that we would have to have you repeat on your pathway should you like just advance past them, is what they're showing me. So it's part of it, right? It's in the mulch, it's in the good stuff. Like, don't deny what's happening into your life. See it, the sooner you see it as a lesson, the sooner you see it as a misstep, the sooner as you go like, oh, why didn't that work? And you get to the state of curious, like the easier it is for you to move on from those things, right? And they say like there's so many books and articles about people failing. There's that really famous quote about Michael Jordan and all the shots that he missed, right? So they kind of want you to say like, you're taking the shots, at least you're out there, at least you're playing the game, you know, like the other people who, the talkers, the people who like might talk about failure, like if anything, it's like they desire to also be willing to put themselves out there. And they just say that to you, Laura, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. It's safe now. Please do some work around it's safe to be me. It's safe to be me. It's safe to be me. That will like integrate that past life and let you come into that full healership self and allow you to continue to do this work and be okay with failure. And if anything, you can talk about it, learn about it, and help others because they want you all to share your failures with your community so that we don't keep doing it, right? We're not here to be secretive and tell people what didn't work. Talk about what works, talk about what doesn't work. Be more open and more sharing in this community. There's enough for everyone. There's enough for everyone. Yeah. How's that sound?
Sounds wonderful, Jessica. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am going to go
Jessica,
after the year, first of the year.
What's that?
I'm going to schedule after the first of the year, but I did buy a gift certificate for my best friend.
Yay, thank you, my dearest. That's so sweet. Happy holidays to you.
Jessica, I have a question.
Yes, Elise.
So it said, by the way, which are my spirit guides or the spirit guides that are here today, either way, and am I resting too much?
Well, first of all, you have unicorn energy. So they want you to like there's just like, they just said she's a unicorn. So let's look at that, please. Are you resting too much? Let's look at that. Thank you. What they're saying with you is there's resting, which is awakened rest, awareness rest. You know, I'm taking this rest with awareness. What they're saying with you is you're just stuck and stagnant. And so you're just not moving. And so they want you to sort of realize that there is, how do you feel? If you feel like, I'm taking my shoes off, I'm relaxing, I'm sitting down, I'm doing this purposely, I'm lighting the candles, I'm resting, versus like, it's hard for me to move. I don't know where I want to go. They just really want you to say like, you need to trust that you're a magical being. Hello, you're showing up as a unicorn, and to just be your like weird, authentic self. Like people need you to just be you, Elise. And it's okay if not everybody gets you or understands you. You're far beyond your time. That is one of the hard things in your life that you have to deal with is knowing things and feeling things and sensing things, and then trying to convince people to take the action now so that we can either be better when we get there or prevent those bad things from happening. That's where a lot of your stress and anxiety comes from. And so your body oftentimes will just want to shut down because it's a lot to take in when you're walking around in the world. They'd love for you to do some more like bubble protection and some crystal work so that you have allies to support you, because you're just getting drained empathically. They just say that you've forgotten to like do your more daily protections as an empath. We all get tired of doing that, I think, sometimes, but it's kind of like they say just like you brush your teeth, you know, you do your daily protections, especially for you. How does that feel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that you're a unicorn though. That's so fun and magical.
Yeah. The second house was the second one was like, who are my spirit guides? Who is it that I'm supposed to be visualizing or thinking about?
So they want you to work with oak tree, right? Strong and powerful, rooted and grounded. And they want you to work with the fairies of the forest. So really you're getting a lot of like plant, tree, medicine. So working with oak, if you can find oak, if you can sit with oak, if you can find petrified wood of oak. And then the fairies of the forest, they're saying start to put out offerings to them. Thank you. And they will start to communicate things to you. Little like flowers or chocolates or little gifts in that way. They're just saying you used to do that as a little girl. And so please just come back down into this realm. We miss you a lot. And there's a lot that they want to translate about you helping to like take care of the planet, take care of the earth, take care of the space that we're in. It's very important. Oh, I love that there's like earth mamas on here taking care of our planet. It's beautiful energy. So look, work with oak and the fairies. That's what they're saying for you. That's a good place for you to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
I'm
Deanna.
My name's Dee Dee, but my nickname's Dee Dee, but it says Deanna. So nice to meet you. I just wanted to chime in. First of all, I'm sorry if I'm back and forth. I'm working right now. But I just got a new job and I'm super stoked about it. And I think it's definitely the step in the right direction for my career. One thing that's kind of interesting is I'm 36 and I always thought that I would be the first friend to get married, the first friend to have kids. And it's just interesting that my life has gone in this direction. So, I mean, I don't want to say I'm like in a crisis, but it's more of just, I'm not in a crisis. That's the wrong word, but it's just kind of this realization that, I'm going down this career path and I don't know if I haven't met, maybe I have, I feel like I haven't met the person that I'm, going to be with in the long run, or, is it time for me to like accept maybe I am going to have kids, or I'm not going to have kids. It's just, I'm just kind of in a funky space as far as, I guess, thinking my life was going to be a certain way. And here we are. So.
Yeah. So your kiddos say, like that's the big dispelling, right? Is realizing that we thought life was going to be one way and here we are differently. But also that like we exactly created our life as to where we are now. This is a daughter energy coming through. She just says, Mom, I'm ready to come in and be with you, but you're right. You have to find the right partner. She just says to me, like, you wanted to feel really good and really secure around your career because finance, abundance, career stability is important for you and to have a family. So you just said from your own upbringing, I'm not bringing in a kid. This is kind of your subconscious saying, like, I'm not bringing in a kid until I feel good. And you did look for partners along the way, they say, but like what they're showing me there is like nobody that like lit you up and was as like dedicated and focused on their life, so to speak. And so kind of what they're saying is like maybe your partner can be less of the focus and can be more of the openness, and so you can carry the energy of like schedules and deadlines and pickups and all that stuff that you are so good at, and your partner can bring in the fun and the spontaneity and the reminders to do things. So they're saying like look for a partner that appreciates what you do but holds a different energy so that you can really shine in that energy, and that really your kiddos say like you wanted to feel secure. So the more that you can tell yourself that secureness and abundance comes regardless of the job I have, regardless of what I do, and find that as an internal vibration, because abundance and children are the same vibrations, right? So she's just kind of saying she's waiting for you. She said, I've been waiting for her to feel ready enough and full enough in the like that monetary abundance place where she's like, okay, this feels good. What spirit wants you to know is like really nothing is safe and ever guaranteed. So like tread lightly with that need, so to speak, and try to find it more internal. Let's look at your new job really quick. Lots of opportunities for growth, lots of opportunities for you to, like they say, like show your strengths. Thank you. Please don't do things that you are like, that's like not in your job. Does that make sense? So there's going to be a lot of people that want you to do things because you're good and you're new. And so they're just saying like, find a really good phrase that's either like, I have to talk to my boss, or like, thank you for thinking of me, but I'm really focused on, XYZ. And they want you to stay focused on what it is that you want to accomplish at your new job for your own like sense of self and growth, and really for like what do you want to learn is what they're focusing on. Let's look about her partner. Bring in, she says it's about a year because it's hard to date right now and it's hard to meet people, but she wants you to be open to it. Thank you. And like not think that like she goes, don't put off dating for 6 months. Please continue to date and to meet people and to be open and to look for that person that like what they're like, the person is like playing a hacky sack, right? What they're saying is like, you need somebody that does like frivolous fun for no reason things, because all you do are things that have a reason or a purpose. So if you could start to actually invite in more of that in activities that don't have a purpose, even your exercise and activities, it's like, well, for health or wellness, but like what they're telling me is hacky sack. Like, what's the purpose of hacky sack? Like just fun, hanging around. So stuff like that, that's just like fun and light and silly to kind of bring in what your daughter is saying is like this childlike energy and this readiness to be not so serious in everything in your life, right? To be able to drop down into the playful space where kids like to be. But yeah, she's showing me about a year, about September, you might meet somebody, she's showing me. So like be open and throughout this whole year, but let it be a time to work on yourself and get adjusted to this job. She like says you have to do things in order. Like you want to feel good at the job before you even meet anybody anyway. Your energy is very like doors. And so like this has to be good. And then you can like open the next door and then the next door. So if you want a little bit more flow, just allow yourself to release a little bit of that. You can always bring your system back up if you need to. That's been your safety system, but start to relax that a bit and see if you can invite in a bit more flow into like how things happen, how people come into your life, or where you are, like being like, I'm okay to meet people like wherever I am in my life. There's no like right perfect time to meet somebody. That's a lot of what your soul is saying. So just be like, now is the perfect time to meet somebody, right? And just like let that be your vibration. Yeah.
Okay. How cool that she came in, but do you feel any other spirits or that I maybe am connected, like a celestial being or light worker or anything like that comes through?
Yeah, beautiful. You have a tiger around you. And they say like that is your fierceness and your deep desire. And so that is like a power animal of sorts that you can call in, especially in this new job, to like maintain that like fierceness and that dedication and that ability to like go, especially with a lot of the male energies, they're going to have to show up strong, they're saying. So like bringing that tiger energy. And then you have a blue angel from Saturn. Oh, perfect. So she's just coming into alignment now and everything. So you have a blue angel from Saturn that just watches over you. You're likely from that planet or from that system. So have you felt like the black sheep of your family?
Well, more of that. I like left the whole entire family to move to San Diego. So that's a pretty big deal that I stepped out of, the norm of what everybody wanted me to do.
Yeah. And black sheep isn't always the bad one. It's the different one, right? It's the one that would move across. So they're just kind of saying like, you're from a different solar system. So you're from this Saturn angel system. And that is your guide. So she can, you can ask her name. She's not giving me a name, but she says she's from Saturn and she's blue and sparkly. And you're likely from that sphere. Yeah. You're likely from a different galaxy. And I would say that too, if you feel like you're the black sheep or out of place or do things differently than your family, you might likely be from another solar system. You might be a star child or, from, these other places. I never knew that people could be from other places until I started channeling and they would take me to outer space and I'd be like, you're from Orion's belt? Oh, cool. So that was like really fun to know that there's energies coming in from other places.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dee Dee. Absolutely.
Hi, Jess.
Hi.
Elizabeth.
Can you see me? Yes, I can see you. Hi.
Hello. Man, one of the things you said earlier about like if you just keep getting like stuck and it's just like you keep running up against roadblocks. I definitely resonated with that quite a bit in terms of testing and fertility testing because there's been some insurance issues. So I'm kind of curious what is coming up there for me. Yeah.
What they're showing me is they're like, we show Elizabeth roadblocks and she just goes around them. She hops over them. She's like, what they're saying is you see it as a challenge. Like, oh yeah, roadblock, I'll show you. And then my guides go, but they're roadblocks. Like they say, don't go that way. Like, so kind of what they're laughing in the sense, but they're up there for a reason, right? They're up there for like, if we're pushing, like kind of what they're saying is like, you can jump over the barriers, you can do that, but it's going to be a real big effort and a lot of like energy pull from you to like keep going over these hurdles that say no, right? If there's a no, a lot of times people think it's a forever no. It just might be a not right now. That's what they're saying for you. It's like, it's just like a not right now. It's like maybe some other things need to settle or rest. who knows why it's difficult, but they're saying like, you know, you call back and the next person is like super helpful on the phone. So they want you to realize that if you're getting a lot of like no's or pushing, it's releasing. And also because you're pushing from a desire of outside of divine timing. So you want it to be different than it will be or is. And so they need you to like learn that lesson, that they're like, we need her to sink in and know what divine timing really means. And you guys, this was a hard one for me to learn, especially with like babies and fertility. It's like you want your baby and you want them now. But with divine timing, it's really a layer of just trusting that you are in this right place at the right time. And I know that can get like old and tired sometimes until you actually get it. And then you're like, oh, this is perfect. And when you sense it and see it, then you'll start to see the other alignments. What they're saying is they're showing you other pathways and other alignments, but you're just dedicated and pushing on this one. So you can't really see the other opportunities. When you step back, when you rest, the other ones become clearer, you know, like sometimes we get so myopic when we want something so bad. So then when we can take a break and rest, we can see other options. Or really what I feel like about this situation is like, it just needs to settle for a bit and then you can try again. Let's see what they want to say to you about that though. The other thing is, what can I do when I can't do anything? So for my control freaks, hi. What can you control, right? What can you be in charge of? You can be in charge of your mental health. You can eat well. You can exercise. You can do meditation. You know, like this anxiety, this itchiness that's coming to you around this situation is for you to work through, is for you to find comfort in, is for you to understand it. It's going to stay until you do. So they're kind of just saying like, you know, it's best, the sooner you can get into that energy and understand what it is about you, what it is that is like gnawing at you, then the freer it can be and you can release it and you can be okay with that, right? Like what they're saying to me is like, you know, like things only go well when I'm in charge. Things only happen when I'm in, you know, and like, oh, how many times do we say that to ourselves? And then like, we're doing everything. And then we're like, why are we doing everything? Because our subconscious is vibrating that only we can do it the best way. So like other people can do it well, you know, other things are okay. Like just kind of notice, sit with like, is the minute you get irritated, I always like to see that as like, ooh, why am I irritated? Or, ooh, why is that person like bothering me? And I just immediately go within to myself because it's always about us, right? It's always about what is this person? And then I usually try to thank them like, oh gosh, thank you for reminding me that I'm still not done with that, right? That's when I'm like really feeling good and spiritual. I don't always get there, you guys. Sometimes I'm just like, this person is annoying. And I never look at it. But luckily spirit will just bring me another opportunity of annoyance so that I can look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Is just let it be for right now and look into like where that pushing and resistance of roadblocks is coming from. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I have one follow-up question that you came when you were speaking. Are there any suggestions on how to balance my body? Elise had such a great question of, am I resting too much? And that I also very much resonated with. And that kind of also has to go with balancing the body, stress, food, all that stuff.
Well, they say you're not doing it right now because you're just asking the question, right? So even pay attention to what questions we ask because we already know the answer is no. Or really what it is you would like to be doing it better. So what they're saying is like, they're almost saying for you, like a piece of paper and like the 5 areas of your life that you want to focus on, whether it's like, you know, health, exercise, whatever. And then just sort of look at like, what am I doing each day to like tend to those? And maybe some days you get all 5, some days it's only 2 or 3, but they're saying it's less about doing it all every day in perfection, right? You know, perfection, control, people go hand in hand. And it's more about every day I'm being aware of taking care of myself. Every day I'm being aware of finding that balance, right? And again, what they're also saying for you too is balancing poses. Whenever I feel off balance, I always do yoga balancing poses. I'll do tree pose, I'll do just anything on one foot or handstand or headstand, because it really does, like, it instantly brings me into my body and it lets me like play. Like you're gonna fall over, you feel that like that there's always movement in balance, right? There's this awareness and attention when you're balancing. So they want you to know that balance isn't like you put things on scales and it's just like, oh, it's like, no, you gotta keep tending to the scales to keep them in that balance. And for you, what they're saying is like priority, like pick an area that you want the most, like you know, pick the health or pick the exercise or movement or pick something that like is easy for you to start and is easier for you to like keep moving in that way to give yourself some momentum, and then just add on the other ones. But it really is just like they say like, my dear, you have to dedicate to yourself like you're a goddess. You have to visit your own altar every day and like honor Elizabeth and who she is and like what does she need to be this amazing person. And we can't forget to like tend to ourselves and fill ourselves up, right? We even half an hour, right? And if Spirit says if you can't find half an hour, find an hour. Ha ha, but right? But it's true, right? It's like if you can't find an hour, then you know you need more time. So yeah, that's what they have to say about that. My comedian guides.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you, my dear.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Okay, we have like, it's like 9:50. I know we said we go for about an hour. Who else?
Sorry, Courtney. I was gonna say I have a mothering question. It seems to fit in, but Courtney, you go first.
Okay.
I'll just ask super quick. So hopefully it's super quick. There's a lot of resistance for me around, so I know that there's some body and home stuff that I need to be working on right now. And I've done a lot of inner work. Now I know it's time to work on my surroundings, and I'm wondering if you have any guidance or suggestions for how to kick that off.
Yeah, and so just to confirm, you're saying body, like your physical body, and then home, like your home.
Correct.
Yeah. So, well, two things. First, my goddess energy comes in and says, take your time, goddess. You never have to be quick. Stop apologizing for that. We can take up all the time. If we need to go over, I'm sure we could ask these goddesses if we need to go over. So they want you to say that. We say that a lot as women, like, oh, I'll just, what, and we want to be respectful of the time, whatever. But like, that's what they're saying to me is that that's a kind of a big thing for you already, is like they want you to start to take up more space and to be okay with like, you're here, you have a reason, you have a message, like take up that space, you know, take the time. It's okay. You don't need to like qualify it. They want you, because we want to hear from you is what your guides are saying. We want you to like come present and be forth. So that's our quick little message on that. As to terms of home and body, what they're kind of saying is it's the same thing. Your literal home, and then your body is your home. So like let the work be like you've done that work on that body. So then like, how does that reflect out into your space? Let your space be things that support this temple, that support your work. You know, like they're saying like, yeah, if you need to move furniture around, if you need to like reorganize things in a way that like, let it be supportive of like the work that you're doing. And like, how it can like be a space for your creativity, for your openness, for that kind of stuff. Did you just move into this space?
I've been here for a couple of years now. It's just, yeah, coming up that it's time to clear some clutter. Been working on that for a while, but it feels like now's the time.
Let me look at that, please.
There's a really great book called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui that's like the best in the world, and you can listen to it on audiobook and it will help you rearrange all of it.
I love it. And kind of what they're also saying is around like the clutter and around the stuff and around the heaviness is, thank you. It's like, it's okay to let things go, right? It's okay, because like what they're really just saying is like, you need to make space for you to be able to create and move. And thank you. What they're saying is like, bless the stuff, let it go to good people, let it find good homes, let it be like, even if you love it, if it no longer fits in the space, you just say like, I just hope somebody else can rock this sweater or rock this thing or whatever it is, and just like start to pass it on. We love the idea of the podcast. We love the idea of the book. We love the idea of like listening to music or something inspirational when you're doing this work, to just like commit, let it be like a ceremony, let it be like a Kali clearing out fire ceremony, and let it be not just like a project that you have to do, like cleaning out the garage, but like I am cleaning out my temple, I'm clearing out my space. It will also give you a good opportunity to like look back at things and remember things. And Spirit's saying like, you can always take pictures of things if you like want to remember it, but clear out your space for where you're going and what you need to be doing in the space moving forward. What do you do for a living? What's your pathway right now?
Life coach.
Yeah, what kind of life coach?
Spiritual ascension, basically.
Thank you. What they're saying is like, let it be a spiritual experience, because you can relay that to clients. They say it's a really good blog post, before and after, people love it. But like that thing of like, and when we're doing that, you're being vulnerable and you're being like, I'm kind of messy and I have things, and we all have things that build up, but like, what is the spiritual way of cleaning out? Right. And I think of like Marie Kondo, where she does that beautiful thing and she thinks everything, you know, and you don't have to fold everything like she does, but just like that honoring process, like everything is a ritual, everything's a ceremony, even clearing out the clutter in our closets. Let's look at your clutter, please, and why haven't you been able to give it away? It's a lot of releasing of attachments for you, and a releasing of like achievements, like you be able to have these things and buy these things. They're also saying that you're going to buy things differently in the future with much more conscious awareness of Mother Earth. So there's a little like heartache of what you're doing and like, oh, I'm contributing to this. So find it. There's these things here, they call them buy nothing groups. We have them like if you know, like, hey, you know, needy families around Christmas time. I mean, this, like, you could just like be blessing to people with like clothes and household stuff. And so just think of it that way. Think of like what you're doing as a gift. And my goodness, that feels like much more inspired. And like, I want to come over and help you clean. I mean, not really, but you know, like I feel inspired to like when you set up to do something like that and do it in a way with music and make a lovely tea and everything. It's just like, you know, almost like you would want to invite people into this amazing clearing ceremony. So they want you to have your life be more like that. Woo, which is like epic. You know, I mean, imagine your breakfast if you clean like this, right? So like that kind of level of energy of just like pumped up, they said. Yeah, I love it.
That is totally perfect. That's, yeah, ritual and ceremony have been huge and around my business too. So that fits perfectly. Thank you so much.
You are welcome so much. And what they're saying, just one more thing around your business is like dedicate some time to like praying and honoring it as well. So like you do it for everybody else, but like make sure you do it for yourself as well. Like, you know, whatever I see your rituals that you do, like make sure that you're included, they said, and your own business is included, and your own energy around that. So we often forget ourselves, I know. So we have to remember ourselves.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Miss Andrea. A mama question.
Hey, Jessica, how are you? And Courtney, I dropped a link in the comments. I love your topic. It's so important. Not to take too much time with too much background, but I'm just all of a sudden mothering stuff. I know, but I still can't help it. So much is coming up for me. What's that?
People can leave if they need to leave.
I know. So much is coming up for me kind of unexpectedly in the last, because of Hollis's container. I did not expect some things coming up about sort of mothering, and then because of that, like the mother lineage, and the trigger, or sort of like the catalyst, I should say, a better word, is like just kind of some tricky times right now with my 13-year-old, and trying to figure out how to make that connection, or where that connection is, and then realizing that that's connected to work that I have to do, stuff that I've kind of compartmentalized for a long time. So I'm just wondering if you have a few words. You know, I always know my own answers, but then you sort of accelerate it. So if there's, you know, something that can kind of help me navigate, I do feel a little bit at a loss for kind of like next steps.
What is the biggest like energy between you and the 13-year-old? Like, do you feel like she's ignoring you? Do you feel like you can't get through to her?
Like she doesn't want to receive that support. She doesn't want to receive. She's sort of, you know, walling off. And then I think with both of my daughters, there's a lot of concern around just this digital addiction that they're all developing right now because of the pandemic. It's kind of really so hard to know how to deal with that right now. And I feel like that's I don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah. What they're saying around her is like what you can do to come to her, like in the next steps is like let her lead. So saying to her, like Like, what is it? Like they just say like straight honesty. Like, I know that we're changing. I know that our relationship might have been this, that, or the other, but like, this is what I would really like to have in our relationship. Here's how I'd like to support you. But like, more importantly, like, what do you want? How do you want to be supported? You know, and a lot of times what we think as parents is like, oh, they don't know. Our kids totally know if we just listen. They're not going to be like, this is what I need you to do, mom, but they're going to say things like, well, I just like, I really miss my friends, or, you know, I really feel this, or really feel that. And like, it's your job as a parent to go, what's the emotional support? What's the thing under there? Like, could we get, you know, with her friends for a socially distanced thing, or could we do like a fun social time like that? Right. So that thing, she's also saying she wants more privacy and more like respect on that. So they're saying like, start to give her things, start to give her more like responsibilities, let her start to like move into this like womanhood space that she's in. Has she already gotten her moon cycle? Do you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So she needs help around that. She needs help around that. She's saying to me, it's an opportunity for you to like connect with her. And kind of what she's saying is like, she might still roll her eyes at you, but like she's listening. And it's a hard part where she's starting to like come into herself and come into her wings. And so she's going to do a lot of pressing away. But the best thing is you can just say, I'm here and I want to show up for you. So like she always has an open door, but then start to do more dedicated, intimate things with her, just her, not the both girls, just her, they're saying, and do some just things like, even if you just say like, hey, let's get together and we're going to read some cards together, or we're going to do this thing where it's like just she misses just the two of you. You guys have a strong work that you're doing. Also, the work for you is that it really freaks you out that it's your daughter and that you can't connect to her. It's driving you crazy, they say. So that's stop pushing that. Stop thinking life is repeating itself is what they're saying, and come into this space of like, mother-daughter relationships are challenging. Like, I don't know one that isn't. There's times of love, there's times of conflict, there's whatever, but she's like, what they're all saying to me is like, just know that this is an ebb and flow of the relationship, and that, you know, you might have to show up and support in a different way. But really, again, they keep saying like, let her lead in terms of like, what do you guys want to do in that space? The digital stuff, gosh, that's a lot, you guys. Let's see what Spirit has to say about that. Thank you. What they're saying again is like, you know, taking it away, turning it off, all that kind of stuff just creates more of the addiction, just creates more of the wanting and the sneaking and the hiding. Let it be, again, what they're saying is like, how many hours do you think you should be on your phone? What's a good thing? And then let's try 5 hours. Let's do that. You know, they're not really going to respond to the research. They're not really going to respond to that information yet. Really what it is they're saying is like, let them have awareness about it. Let them be like open to like turning things off, shutting things off, even having like a family thing of like no phones on Sundays or whatever it is. But they say many of the parents will need to start to build this in and to help the kids with finding the healthy boundaries and letting them be able to assess like how much they're using something, right? Like even adults need that, they say, but especially kids. It's like keep bringing that awareness and then be a good model, right? So like make sure that you're purposely turning your phone off or putting your phone away or putting it down. Thank you. Probably what needs to be created is something for these girls, Andrea. Something for young teenage girls that have been in quarantine, that have been in this space. Like kind of what the guys are saying is like, is there something that you can make for them? Think about that. It might not come, but just watch. Even just ask your daughter, like, what would you like? Because they might come up with a crazy fun idea that you could actually make happen, right? So like let her freedom and creativity like be wild and big and open. Don't press her down. She says you kind of press down her ideas into reality. Let her be more open, and then you can take that and make it reality and help her see how we take something big and actually make it happen for us. But let her speak a bit more freely and openly before you come in to like help and serve and fix. She doesn't need you to fix things as much anymore. She needs more of a guide and more of a suggestion now, even though you still feel like she's a little girl. She's much older in her appearance and her looking at the world. So she's ready. She said she's ready for more like adult things or more responsibility in that sense, right? She's definitely not an adult yet, but she's starting to act like that. So she wants more responsibility. Yeah.
That's all so spot on. Thank you so much. It's always such a delight to be with you. And I will add to the chorus, singing your praises Jessica is amazing, and to have a personal session with her is utterly transformative. So thank
Thank you. Yeah, they really are, and they're a lot of fun. And I never know if like you're going to get past life stuff or angels or grandparents or whoever likes to come in. I always trust that they're there for the highest good for you. So I hope that was fun and people got to ask some questions. And what do we think, Hollis?
Yeah, that was amazing. I just want to add a couple of things and just thank you for everyone asking your questions, and just it's vulnerable to ask questions, and I just want you to know how much I got that, and I'm probably speaking for the crowd. Like when someone asks something, I got something out of everyone's response, and so I just love this work. And I just sharing a little bit more about sessions with Jessica. These are powerful times, and what Jessica shared in the very beginning for the collective reading was, we do, I think it's very important. It's going to be very important. I'm going to carry this message on, and Jessica is going to be with us sharing monthly for our group to help keep us on track. And it's really important to develop discipline around this constant connection with our guides, because we all have, and not like we need to step into the work that Jessica's doing, but we're channeling all the time, and we're in constant, we're surrounded by help. And in the world that we're moving into, and especially if you're on this call and this path, being called to this, whether you're just stepping into it or have been on it for years, the acceleration it can happen quickly. Healing can happen really, really quickly when we just ask for help. And, going back to Lori's message, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Like, it's safe. We're safe. We just need to remind ourselves of that every second until it really, sinks in. And so that's what I got from the share. Among, like 2 or 3 pages of notes, I'll probably watch this over and over and over. And I would suggest going back through and taking notes if this resonated with you, because like I mentioned in the beginning, for me, this is an activation. This is something that if I can't interpret it in the moment, I'm just feeling it. Like I hesitated. I didn't have my notes in the beginning because I know that this is such a download of energy and information on a cellular level that, if you want to go through it again and listen to and take notes, that's great. If you want to go through it again and just like do it like a meditation, laying down, receiving, that's really, really powerful. Thank you so much, Jessica.
I just love those suggestions.
This was a lot of work for you.
Cool.
So.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this circle. Am I frozen?
Oh,
I'm frozen. Oh no. No, I'm not.
Back.
Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to close the circle so we can all be here to close it and just ground us again, so I don't leave you guys all tethered and floating off into space. So I'm going to hold my selenite, and again, we'll just come centered, let our eyes close, feel our feet. Take a nice breath in and let it go. We thank the compassionate spirits for showing up today, and we release you to where you are needed most. I release any energetic cords that the collective attached to me today with love and compassion and gratitude. And I call back any energetic cords that I attach to the collective with love and compassion and gratitude. What's mine is mine and stays with me. What's no longer mine or no longer serves me is gently, beautifully, and gracefully released into Mother Earth. And it is so. Aho. All right. So they're just saying you can use that cutting process after things, and that if you're a practitioner and you don't have an ending of the day process, to please do that, because we're going to be much more amped up and people are going to need us a lot more. So to make sure you're protecting your energy. Okay, my loves, this was so fun. Thank you, Alice. I'll see you guys the rest of this week, right?
Yes, and I'll put all of the information about how to contact Jessica, like in detail, to schedule your session.
Okay, have a beautiful day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.